I've always been a big fan of the classics. Well, like, half the time anyways. There's something so real, so raw about them.
Stella!
And I can think of no better way to describe No Through Road. No Through Road was released back in 2009. Frankly, a huge year for the newfound YouTube horror genre, due primarily to the success of this and Marble Hornets. This led to more interest in videos of these stylings, and more things like Everyman Hybrid being released a year later, and on, and on, and on, and on. But to see how much things have really progressed, it's time we take a look back. The contents of the video take place a year and a month before the video was posted, which also spoils the ending of it, which, to quote one of my older videos,
does that light make a difference? Have you seen it on what the
I know what you're thinking. They are unfortunately British, but if it's any condolences, he spills coke on his cock.
Oh, my coke spilled on my lap!
Oh, that's scary!
Despite the sign giving quite clear instructions, the need to
Shit so badly.
overpowers their sign obeying nature, and they attempt to yes through road.
Someone tell me a joke to cheer me up.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
I don't know, I'm really lost.
It's pertinent to note here, it's scenes of levity like this that actually allow the video to be scary. Because we see them try to rationalize the situation and calm themselves, we can actually feel and relate to them. Wow, what an interesting concept. It's a shame nothing's ever done that before ever. Stella, the beer of choice for driving.
Stop joking. Stop being a brick, man.
The crew begins to drive in a continuous loop, passing the same sign over and over again.
I wanted to be a baker, but I couldn't make the dough.
Alright, Buster, that is one step too far. It's Old Yeller time.
Wow. Hey guys.
I did last.
Turn the lights on.
What are you doing? Turn it back on.
It's not me.
What's he...
I can't
Turn the bloody lights on!
These camera strikes mark the end of the story, but what makes this murder scene so effective is the juxtaposition of backstory during this violent scene. This makes the violence more personal to us as a viewer, and this helps prevent the scene from just becoming a haha camera go brrr. An analysis is really difficult to talk about. Everything is kept incredibly vague, which, while keeping the events scarier, leads to a really fucking lame conclusion from me. Either the killer is something paranormal, able to shift reality around him, or the tunnel itself is paranormal and summons an entity just to kill people who have poor reading comprehension. Or, I can go the secret third option and say that it's all a coma theory, because they stalled out immediately and the entire video took place in their minds. No Through Road 2 was released in 2011, and is even slower paced to begin with. The tone is much more muted than the first, featuring no dialogue and exclusively voyeuristic shots of Glasses Guy.
And when you look at the video, you see me get dragged out first, before Steven. I don't know how I got out there.
Yeah, it turns out this guy has the same survival tactics as Kenny.
Long story short, I got lucky.
Specifically go back in time to see yourself then you will.
Now to you, this might seem like friends just chatting, but to me, it seems like something I can't talk about for another 10 minutes.
I was going to tell you a joke about pencil, but it's been told so many times it's a bit pointless.
Finally, a joke so bad that the other guy willingly abandons his car and leaves to go die. The duo find themselves stuck traveling the same loop again, which... yeah, that makes sense. Damn, have you ever gotten your hairline insulted by a camera glitch before? Dude, you can even hear the camera laughing at him, what the fuck?
I found the red stone as well. I don't know what it is. Never used it before.
Cobblestone.
I think it's more precious than gold.
After they continue the loop a few more times, they pause to gather themselves and... hey, does it smell weirdly like an Oscar nomination here?
James! Oh, James!
Oh, look at that, they stumble upon the sleepy boy from last episode, who shows up right as the other characters are talking shit.
I just had to pay my respects.
Do you think it was worth it?
No.
God, if only he said one of these, this scene would be perfect.
It's fine, that's gone, it's in the past.
What do you mean it's in the past?
It's been 3 years.
The conversation here implies that time is completely borked here, having years seem like a few hours. So, I guess we're closer to the tunnel being haunted than Weezer himself being supernatural.
It's gonna be alright.
So, with this group cry session, the video ends? Why? What? This is such a tease, given how much finality the first one ended with. Now let's see what we've got with this next up 3 minutes. I have been trying my hardest to stretch these 10-minute videos to about 3. What the hell could I say about... You'll never guess who got sick in the middle of recording this. This video has the quality decomposed even more, now glitching more often than not and really hurting my ears. The first minute of the video is them driving in total silence, something that I usually wouldn't get bent out of shape about, but this time that silent minute is about a third of the entire video.
My phone's ringing.
Finally is right, this is the first piece of dialogue and it's only a phone call. But what is he saying? Listening to the audio, it's something terrifying. A one-way ticket to Slender Man. Yeah, be glad I'm fucking with the audio here. Actually listening to it is a painful experience. Ah, our murderer for the evening is back. Wait, does he have a name? How about Masky? It's generic enough, and surely it couldn't relate to a past video. And here you thought I wasn't gonna reference Chowder today.
What do we do? Drive. Drive. Go.
And thus, this incredibly long video ends, and I am kinda disappointed. Like, the ending sequence is really good, and the entire video has the same vibes as the first, but I think the short form upload here really reduces the overall tension and enjoyment. Not to say that it's bad, but if it was just connected to part 2, I think I'd like it a lot better.
I don't think it's my blood.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be weird to talk about this one. The camera's constant glitching leads to a non-linear feeling story. Cool way to show the strange time dilation occurring, but not much that I can comment on without just stating the obvious. Like, look, it's a pole! The trio of through throats find themselves in a shed, all set for a romantic night. Oh yeah. It's clear this is Masky's shed of love, assumedly where they take Chowder at the end of their story, and given that the friend they found is now Blair Witching in front of the mask, I think it's pretty clear what's happening. Put a pin in that, we'll get to it later. I promise, maybe. Moving swiftly onwards, the trio of turbulent travelers find themselves bush camping, and watching Masky standing at the end of the tunnel as a car pulls up. Evidently, time is looped again, and now they're watching the events of the first episode play out once more.
Doing? No! Don't go. I have a choice.
James runs off, presumably to join the Blank Mask posse, while the other two take a plan of action.
How's you gonna die? If I'm alive now, I could prevent it.
Ultimately leading to Steven also running off, also donning a mask, and thanking God that Costco had a 4 for 3 deal.
Steve, what are you doing? Steven!
Upon seeing that he had been outsourced, Mask and Bask shrugs and leaves, just like any real patron.
Going dark.
Camera guy hits the night vision, and we see Steve's brilliant plan. Ambush and beat his past self. It's a bold move, Cole. Let's see how it plays out. Live Steve update. Didn't go well. Get more live, hot Steve on Steve action at Steve Hub Live, otherwise known as far too down your Minecraft mod list. Steven ends up losing the fight against Steven, before Steven runs off into the woods to leave our cameraman Steve to his death. All jokes aside though, this ending is actually awesome. While I could do with a more fitting end for our unrelated cameraman, the Steve twist is so good that it completely makes up for it. There's also enough mystery left to be satisfyingly scary, with the exact hows and whys never being addressed. You hear that, Ringu? It's not that hard. Putting together a coherent story isn't the most challenging thing, just a matter of fitting together the pieces. Hey, wait, this isn't a puzzle! Although the general consensus seems to be that Steve is the mask man, I'm actually inclined to disagree. I think Steve's story is the perfect loop. In No Through Road 1, he kills his quote-unquote assailant and runs off, bumping into the car duo in No Through Road 2, covered in blood of his future self. He then tries to drag his past self to safety before being attacked and overpowered by his past self, thus resetting the loop. The only other unaccounted people are James and the cameraman. James, I think, overall is far more likely to be Masky himself. My evidence, aside from this one image where he looks whack, is that James was
Dragged out first.
yet he's the one who survives the entire ordeal. Although, his reason to begin killing his friends is shaky at best, and I really couldn't come to a good conclusion. As far as I know, the cameraman doesn't take a mask with him, so I don't see how he'd be super connected, although it is notable that he was the only one who wasn't there for the first go-around. And so, that wraps up No Through Road. I originally wrote out a much larger analysis of this entire ending. You don't get to hear it. Goodbye.
Oh, my Coke spilled every on my lap.
Was that the
Yes, Markiplier, you have spilled the milk.
You shut the fuck up! I could milk you.